Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and it is Saturday, December 19th, 2020. It is probably about 6:30 p.m. almost, or 6 p.m. It is time for me to head out the door with Emily and head out to our church for our last night of our live nativity. We've been doing it for the last 3 nights, and tonight's the last night. And then tomorrow morning is our Christmas program at church. We're doing a musical cantata, and I'm the director of that. We had our last rehearsal this morning. And then in the afternoon, we've got to load up the family, the gifts, and the food, and head over to my husband's family celebration, his my in-laws, in other words, and all of that. So we have that tomorrow afternoon. We did not go to their house for Thanksgiving. We decided to stay home, but my sister-in-law, I think, has a good situation worked out where we're going to be eating outside and sort of sitting far apart in each of our family groups, and I think it's going to be okay. So we have that tomorrow, and meanwhile, I've been reading. I've still been reading. I try to get up super early in the morning and get my morning reading done, and I promised you that video if enough people said that they were interested in hearing about it, and several of you did. So I'm sorry I haven't gotten it done yet, but I will very, very soon. Within the next few days, I will get that video done and show you what my morning reading routine looks like right now. And so I've been listening to some audiobooks, and I've been reading some print books, and I've just been having a good week, just trying to take it a day at a time. And now Emily and Katie are done with school for the semester, and we are just enjoying the season. So let me tell you about the books that I have finished this past week. I have finished 7, 8-ish. I almost finished the 8th one last night. In fact, it did play in my ear the last hour I slept through. I was so tired, and I was listening to it and I fell asleep. So I finished 8 or 7, and for all intents and purposes, but I could say 8 if I really want to be legalistic about it. But I will try to get that last hour finished up of that one tonight, and hopefully I won't fall asleep before I get it done this time. So anyway, I have finished 7. 2 of them were from the Military Canine Unit series, which is a love-inspired suspense series. And this was a really good series. I want to thank Jayne Catherine on Books for being the first one to mention this series that I ever heard of, because she led a read-along of the first 2 books in this series for March Mystery Madness of 2019. And it took me a little while to get around to reading them. I read the first one, and then they showed up on Hoopla on audio. Hallelujah. So I was able to listen to them on audio. The very first one, there's a 0.5 novella that's not on Hoopla. And then there is a bind-up of 2 novellas that are listed as book 9 in the series, and those are not on Hoopla. But I've read or listened to all the others except that 0.5 and the book 9. So I will try to get to those, probably not in December, but hopefully before too much time gets past, and I will try to get those done. Anyway, this is set on a military base in Texas. It's very lightly faith-based and very clean. All of the books have a romance and a bit of a mystery, and then there's an overarching mystery that was finished in book 8. This is book 7, Battle Tested by Laura Scott. I don't have a copy of book 8. It was Valiant Defender by Shirley McCoy, and I enjoyed both of those a lot. I had one reread or re-listen. This was our book club book for our library book clubs for both of them for December. We usually both clubs read the same book for December. The Christmas Train by David Baldacci. This was a fun book, and it's got a little bit of adventure, a little bit of romance, a little bit of mystery, and it's a pretty good book. I have not read a lot of David Baldacci. I think I may have only maybe listened to one other book, and it was pretty intense. So I've heard other people say that this is not your typical David Baldacci. This is much lighter than what he usually writes, but I enjoyed it. And then I got a novella done from the not Harmony, the Ransom Canyon series by Jodi Thomas. I don't have a physical copy of it. It was called A Christmas Affair, and it was book 6.5 in the Ransom Canyon series. And now I'm ready for this one, Mistletoe Miracles. And then the one after it is the last one in the series, and it's also a Christmas-themed book. So I will be able to listen to both of these on Hoopla. Hold on one second. Okay, then in my car, I listened to A Red Herring Without Mustard by Alan Bradley. This is book 3 in the Flavia de Luce series. And I have some mixed feelings about Flavia de Luce. And I had a little bit of a discussion in my comment section with one of you, and you were saying how you also had mixed feelings because of the relationship with Flavia and her sisters. They are really harsh with each other. They are very mean and nasty and do physical harm to each other. That's one of our Christmas toys, and Emily's sitting over here. It's Santa in a, it needs a new battery, so it's going to start going really slow. It's Santa in a convertible with a couple of reindeer, and it plays lowrider. It's hilarious. Anyway, but about this book, it does perpetuate that, where Flavia and her sisters are just really mean and nasty to each other. I don't know how realistic that is. I'm sure there are siblings who are mean and nasty to each other. And, you know, I don't know. You hate to see it. But, you know, I would like to see some personal growth through this. I would hope that by the end of the series, they have kind of come around to being a little nicer to each other. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, this one was okay. The narration is done by Jayne Entwistle, and she's fantastic. I really enjoy the narration. And this one had a gypsy woman who was attacked, and Flavia found her and helped her. She wasn't murdered. Flavia called for help, and then they got her to the hospital. And then after that, they found someone else. Someone else was found dead, and Flavia also found him. And so the mystery goes from there. So anyway, I have the 4th one of these on a CD that I bought at a library sale a long time ago. And that's why I went ahead and picked this one up, because the 4th one takes place at Christmas time. So if I have time to squeeze that one in this month, I will. But what I did just start in my car, I was able to get on CD from our library, The Wonder Boy of Whistle Stop by Fannie Flagg. This is the latest book by Fannie Flagg. I have just finished the first disc. I think there's 7 or 9 discs. And so far, I'm really, really enjoying it. We are getting to revisit a lot of the characters from Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. And it, so far, just a lot of little vignette kind of things about each of the people that we've met before and kind of what they're doing now. So we shall see. It may continue to be that, or it might move into more of a plot. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But Fannie Flagg's style is so humorous and just so good. And she narrates the audiobook, which is also great. She normally does a fantastic job. I do have one little complaint, and she probably did it on purpose, but part of the scenes take place in Kissimmee, Florida, because she has had her character Iggy move to Florida, and she's saying Kissimmee, and I think surely she knows that it's Kissimmee, and she just is saying Kissimmee because at that time frame it's supposed to be 1964, and I think she's just doing it because she thinks that that's how the characters would say it in 1964. So it's fine. But every time I hear it, when she introduces that chapter that's set in Kissimmee and she says, Kissimmee, Florida, 1964, I'm like, it's not Kissimmee. So anyway, for all of you who may not know, there is a town. It's near Disney World. It's in Florida. And it looks like, the spelling of it looks like Kissimmee, but it is Kissimmee. So that being said, let's move on. I also finished this book, A Thief of Time by Tony Hillerman. This is book 8. Yes, 8. in the Leap, Horn, and Chi series, and I read this in print. It's not very long, and I flew through it in just a few days. Really, really enjoyed this. It was very intriguing, very good. I apologize. You could probably hear our dog barking in the background. They are outside. I was going to let them be in here, and they were just too noisy. And I had to put them out. And so if you can hear them barking, I'm sorry. Then I listened to a couple of books on Audible Plus by an author, Shirley Jump, because I recognize the name. Mainly, I recognize the name because when I was reading the Harmony series by Jodi Thomas, she's got a bind-up of short stories here that's by 4 different authors, and one of the Harmony stories is in here. And there is also a story here by Shirley Jump from the Dare Island. No, it's not Dare Island. That's Virginia Cantress. The Southern Belle Book Club series, which is really only one book and one novella. And so later on, I found this book somewhere at maybe a library book sale. So I've got that series. I have not read the short story in here. The only short story I've read in this bind-up is the one by Jodi Thomas. So I didn't really know anything about Shirley Jump. I just knew that her story was in this bind-up, and so I had picked up this one. And when I was searching around on Audible Plus to see if there were any authors that I recognized or that I wanted to read while I'm in my 3-month trial period, I saw a couple of books by Shirley Jump that are from the Fortune Island series. Oh, and I have another book by Shirley Jump on my shelf that I've had for a long time. I can't even remember the title of it. I went in there trying to find it, but I think it's in the back section, and I couldn't find it. But as I recall, it's got a pig on the front, and somebody's got this pig on a leash. So, that's a cover I couldn't pass up. Anyway, so all that to say, I had not ever read anything by Shirley Jump. So I listened to these 2 books on Audible Plus. It's a duology from the Fortune Island series. And the second one is the one I'm trying to finish up right now. It was not as graphic as the first one, a little bit, but not as much. The first one, I just didn't like it at all. It's not my type of romance. It was not romantic to me. It was more trashy than classy, and just smutty, and that's just not me. I don't know. Some people they can write the same content and do it in such a classy way that you think, oh, okay, well, that was kind of romantic, and go on. And then sometimes people just, I don't know. It's just a difference in writing style, and her style was not for me. So I don't know if I will read these or even the other one on my shelf. I want to at least give her another shot, mainly because the second book that I am finishing up now really only had like one graphic scene, whereas the first book had several. So, maybe all of her books are not as graphic, but anyway, we'll see. If you've read Shirley Jump, let me know what you thought of her writing style, and maybe that doesn't bother you. But like I said, I have read and will read some graphic content. It's not my taste, but sometimes people can just write it in a more tasteful way. And this one, I don't know. It was like, ew, no, I don't need to know that. No. So, okay. So I think that's everything that I have finished. Is that 7 books? There were one of these, 2 of these. So 1, 2, Christmas Train, one by Jodi Thomas, Thief of Time. Yeah, okay. So then I'm also currently reading a couple of books that I'll show you whenever I do my video about my devotional, because I have a couple of books ongoing there. But then another one that I started that I didn't know if I was going to get to, and then I realized I had it checked out on Overdrive on ebook, and on the last day before it was going to expire, I realized, I can listen to this text to talk. So that's what I did. It takes some getting used to. It's not my favorite way to consume a book, but it was that, or it was going to be next year. And this is a Sunshine State book. It's called Float by Laura Martin, and I'm not quite done with it now. I'm about 75% done because I went ahead and downloaded it to my Kindle, and then I turned off the Wi-Fi on my Kindle, so I should be able to go ahead and finish this up, even though it's already returned now back to overdrive. But this, I'm gonna have to tell you more about this later, and I'm not to the end of it yet, so I don't know how it's gonna end. But so far, I'm really, really loving this one. This is about kids who are labeled risk, R-I-S-K, but not what you would think. They all each have some sort of special ability or superpower, and they've been labeled with all these different like level 3, level 4, level 5, according to how much of a danger they are to themselves or others. And like this one boy, the main character, from his perspective, he can float, and if he doesn't wear weighted down things like heavy shoes and a vest, he could just float away and end up in outer space. So that's his exceptionality. And there's another one that goes invisible, and he can't always control it. And there's one that has x-ray vision, but he can't always control it. So he has a service animal that helps him. And it's like all these kids have these special needs, but yet they're superpowers. And it's like, oh my goodness, wow, what a way to package this whole idea of special needs kids. And they're at a camp situation. And it's just so unique, and I love it. I absolutely love it. For those of you that don't know, I have a special needs daughter, and I just, oh my goodness, I'm just so impressed by this author. She's got a few other books out. I'm going to look and see if I can get anything else by her. I think she's also written some romance for adults, but this is middle grade. It's one of the Sunshine State books. It's my last one that I need to read for this year, and I'm tearing up just thinking about it. So you can probably hear it in my voice, but this has really touched me, and it's a great book. So that is what I am currently reading and what I have finished this past week. And I am just going to keep on plugging towards getting as many books as I can read by the end of the year. So far, I'm up to, I think, 411 or 412, something like that for the year. And, you know, I don't know. It's been a crazy year all around. So that's all I have for this video. We better get out of here, and I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.